Hi, this is another aircraft instrument. So this is a radio altimeter. This was built by Smith Industries. On the front, you have different indications. You have here what I suppose to be the main indication. And we have here a value which can be set using this knob. Here there is something which is masked by the flag. We have an indicator here and another one. So on the rear of this instrument, and we have as usual a circular connector, and this thing is secured by this steel wire here. You can see that we have several little screws with little nuts. So it will be a bit difficult to remove, it's not common. So let's open this thing to see what is inside. So let's see how we can remove this thing. This is not obvious. Maybe we need to remove the knobs. So I bought several small Allen key, but I don't know if I have something suitable. Yes, this one is perfect. But I think the screw crosses completely the shaft, so I have to remove it completely. This is very small. I don't know if it is not. I don't think it's a screw because the diameter is 0.5 millimeter or something like that. Maybe I can remove without this screw. We'll see. Yes. Okay. So let's have a look on this thing. I can see that we have several mechanical stuff inside and very little electronics. This thing is much more mechanical stuff than electronic stuff. So we have a servo motor here. Okay, I have destroyed something here. This was a bulb, obviously. This is destroyed. But the bulb is broken anyway. Actually, it is just an adjustment of the luminosity of the indicator. So on this thing we have a motor and something else here, which is a potentiometer probably. We have an indication here. So this seems to be the potentiometer and the motor. So the 10K potentiometer is probably this big black stuff here. But there should be another potentiometer for the adjustment here. Or maybe it is just a mechanical stuff with just a limit switch or something. So here we have a brush contact. Okay. It's the 0 actually. So here we have a toroidal transformer with a rectifier bridge here. So we can try to apply an AC voltage to the input of this bridge, which is here, because here we have the positive DC power supply and the negative is here. So I will apply an AC voltage here. So I will turn on my AC generator. I will start with 10 volt AC. So let's see what's happened. We can hear a little noise, but I think the voltage is not enough. I will increase, okay, to 26 volts. You can see that the flag is not activated. I try to increase a little bit, but you must be careful also with this bulb. Maybe it is short-circuited, I don't know. Yes, it was more or less a short circuit. Okay. Okay, 26 volt AC, second trial. Okay. So we are at the limit here. The flag is not activated, so I will increase the voltage a little bit. This is not obvious. I have decided yesterday to continue to work on this instrument. I gave me 2 hours to make working this instrument without the schematics and without the reverse engineering, because as you can see, the reverse engineering of this instrument is absolutely impossible. There are several small PCBs like that, so I don't know if we can call that a PCB, because actually there are no tracks. The parts are just soldered between them using some piece of wires, as you can see. So there is one assembly here with 2 boards back to back. There is another one here also with the several parts in between also, like a sandwich. There is another small one here. And on this side there are 2 transistors. Here in TO39, they are inserted into these small plates in order to have a power dissipation. And there is another one here. So this is very complicated. The schematics is probably not complicated. I assume that there are maybe 6 or 7 transistors and a few passive parts. But it is difficult to retrieve the schematics from this kind of assembly. So first I have noticed that 2 terminals of the transformer, they are these ones actually, are connected on the connector here between 2 terminals, and also they are connected to 2 terminals of the AC motor. They are actually the yellow wires, this one and this one here. And they are connected to the reference winding of the motor. And the reference winding, as you can see, it is written on this motor, is 26 volts AC. So it was obvious that these terminals here are the power supply input of this instrument, and the power supply is exactly 26 volts AC. So I started to apply 26 volts AC to this instrument. So let's apply 26 volts AC. Actually, it was like the first test I have performed in June. At this time, I tried to find if there is a signal on the rear connector which permits to deactivate the flag here. And doing that, I found that one input is sensitive. If one applies a voltage to this pin, the needle moves. And I found that there is also another one, so there are actually two inputs. Then I have connected these inputs to a power supply. Currently, these inputs are connected to this power supply here and also to this one. So let's see what happens. So we turn on the power supplies, this one and this one. So you can see that the flag disappears, because actually I have connected also a third terminal to a power supply which permits to deactivate the flag. So I found that one input corresponds to a reference voltage and the second one to the input voltage. The needle moves to a position corresponding to the ratio between the input voltage and the reference voltage. That way the position of the needle is independent from the power supply. Currently the reference voltage is 12 volts. For 12 volts power supply, the input voltage range is from 0 to 10 volts approximately. So I will change the power supply. This is 1 volt. This is 2 volts, etc. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, which is the maximum. You can see that this thing is linear relative to the input voltage. The scale is 1 volt for 500 feet when the reference voltage is 12 volts. So I'm going to decrease the input voltage 5 volts. Okay, so you can see also the effect of this index here. You can see that the lamp turns on when the limit is achieved. Actually, the lamp is on when the limit is above the position of the needle. Here the limit is 2500 feet. You can see that the indicator is on when the altitude is below this limit. And this thing is quite accurate. There is a small hysteresis. I have found also the terminals which permit to activate the lighting of the scale. I have connected the switch in series, which is this one here. Here it is difficult to see because of the ambient light, but otherwise the illumination is very nice. I can turn off maybe this lamp here. That's the end concerning this vintage radio altimeter. Next time we'll take a look on this Hameg LCR meter, the HM8018. If you want to know everything about LCR meter, don't miss the next video. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.